So this is pretty crazy cool. ChatGPT, you define you want a breakout program, you give it some specs, you give it the hardware you're using, and within 20 minutes you have a prototype program running. Now, from there, I went and refined the paddle size, I refined the brick collision logic because it was a little off, and I added a score on the left here and a high score, which is stored in the cloud via Wi-Fi, and a pause button. But basically you have Breakout, and it's less than a couple hours of work here. It's really quite, just, what can I say? It's cool. This is the same hardware with just the little Rotary encoder added that I had shown you guys for the stock ticker display. This is probably about three times as much code, but yeah, it's not perfect, but it's playable. The hit detection is the worst, is the biggest issue right now. Is that you see those all should have been hit, but you got to be a little bit more dead center before he thinks you hit something, and even that's sometimes suspect. And it basically wraps game after game after game. There's no game over here. You just keep going. But if you miss, your score gets cut in half, which is kind of better than going back to zero. See, it's really demonstrating the maximum poor hit there. So that's like solidly hit, and it's just not wanting to tell that. I haven't printed out the coordinates to actually drill down on why it's having problems, but it's very, very close to working quite well. And oh man, Breakout was one of the first games that my friend George had at their house from Atari, and I just played the stuffings out of that thing. I loved it. And it turns out, interestingly enough, that an Atari Breakout that I was so enthralled with was coded by Steve Jobs and Wozniak after hours at Atari. So it's kind of a cool connection there. Yeah, see, I'll show you what happens when I get all these blocks, although it might take a moment. Oh, I just lost half my score. Grr, I was looking at the video. Oh, very close. Oh, my goodness. How much better can you hit it? This is the same rotary encoder I use for the dryer control module to increase and decrease dryer time. It's working much better here though, so I have to take a look at that. Still no hit. My goodness. That got to be a hit. There we go. So then we get countdown 3, 2, 1. And And we start again, and the ball should be moving just a smidge faster. That's the idea anyways. I'm not going to play this to a high score, because I miss another ball, I get cut in half again. But see, a little bit of that bouncing around up above action. But again, I mean, we're talking about very little time to have this working. So remarkable. And push button to pause it. It's pretty cool, huh? All right.